Let's work. Yo, it's go time, showtime, never backing down time. One shot, yo, make it count, yo. Crunch time, shine time, make this moment my time. Get a grip, yo, ready, set, go. We bring the thunder. Bring the thunder. Let's work. Bring the thunder. Let's go. Bring the thunder. Let's work. Bring the thunder. Let's go. Yeah, it's my time, yo time. Step into the spotlight. Get lit, yo. Let yourself go. Our time, high time. Gotta go big time. This is it, yo. Never take no fight time. Grind time. Take it to the street time. Turn the roof off. Get loco. Game time, win time. We gon' bring it home time. No regrets now. Let it all go. We bring the thunder. Bring the thunder. Let's work. Bring the thunder. Let's go. Bring the thunder. Let's work. Bring the thunder. Let's work.
Good evening.
I think we're live.
We're live for the moment.
Let's work. Yo, it's go time, showtime, never backing down time. One shot, yo, make it count, yo. Crunch time, shine time, make this moment my time. Get a grip, yo, ready, set, go. We bring the thunder. Bring the thunder. Let's work. Bring the thunder. Let's go. Bring the thunder. Let's work. Bring the thunder. Let's go. Yeah, it's my time, yo time. Step into the spotlight. Get lit, yo. Let yourself go. Our time, high time. Gotta go big time. This is it, yo. Never take no fight time. Grind time. Take it to the street time. Turn the roof off. Get loco. Game time, win time. We gon' bring it home time. No regrets now. Let it all go. We bring the thunder. Bring the thunder. Let's work. Bring the thunder.
Well, good evening and welcome to Mountain Bears. Sorry, guys, we had to do a little intro there. We were running a few seconds behind. It happened.
Yeah. It was my fault.
Shannon, how are you?
Hello, Shannon. And I am trying to get y'all some less echo.
Uh-huh.
My headset did not want to connect.
Oh.
So we're just having fun this evening.
We're having all kinds of fun.
Hey, I got you a decent meal in you. That's the best I got.
Yeah. You fed the bear, okay? Now, y'all guys don't understand. Bear forgot what he was going to eat if he ate today.
Well, and there was a half moment I was just going to be like, well, we'll eat after the show.
Right.
We do that. So, yeah. Come on, little guy. There we go. Awesome. I think you guys should be hearing less echo now.
Right.
There we go. Yeah. What's the matter, Bear?
The Cricket Air 2 is a Bluetooth?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, the Explorer 2, the one I have, it's Bluetooth.
Okay.
There's a phone app.
Wow.
Oh, but yeah, it keeps breaking. What? What keeps breaking? What do we break? We didn't mean
I
to
break everything. What else is new?
Well, it's Tuesday. We do what we can.
Yeah.
Wait, it's Friday. What am I on? Not enough caffeine. That's what I'm on.
Yes. You've done this anti-caffeine thing for a little bit here, and I'm like, that's gonna crash you.
Actually, no, I've been doing pretty good with it. Hey, Brenda. But yeah, no, I don't know. Today, I'm just like awake all day,
Mm-hmm.
fully awake all day. Got a lot of
Cool.
stuff done today.
Yeah.
But I'm still like ditzy. I'm like, "Durr." Part of why we were late was because I can't. Normally, I can time dinner perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
Today was not that day.
Ah.
Like I went through like 2 dinner plans.
Hey, I've done 3 before.
Hey, but I got a good start on tomorrow's dinner.
Right.
Like I have so little to do.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because tonight's dinner plan was was of course the spinach and shrimp quiche, which we really like that. But I don't know, it just suddenly like I was going along with this plan, and then all of a sudden it
Right.
hit me
Right.
like I don't have time for this.
Right.
It's not gonna like I'm not gonna get it into the oven until like at least 8:45.
Right.
Because like I still had cheese to shred
Right.
and like all these other things, and I was like, yeah, no.
Yeah.
So regear pizza, French bread pizza.
That was very delicious, though, and very good.
And you got out for a good walk.
I did. I came out of my cave for about 2 hours and went walking.
Well, it's that time of year when the bears come out of the cave.
Yes.
Usually they maul people because they're hungry.
Well, especially when the bear forgets to eat.
Yeah.
I don't know who would have forgotten to have a shake this morning or lunch.
Like, yeah, you did nothing.
I shot videos and took calls and drank
You did.
coffee.
You did. You did. You very much did all those things. I honestly, though, I thought when, like, because I left out of here at like 2:30,
Mm-hmm.
almost 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I figured that would be the first thing you did after I left.
Mm-hmm.
Because took off to Beckley, run by the bank, came back, put
Oh,
gas
I
in the
did
car.
eat something.
Oh, okay. What did you eat?
My yogurt bar.
Your yogurt tampon?
Yeah, my yogurt. It's called Silo's yogurt bar. The vanilla ones are fucking delicious.
Yes. The cheesecake, not so much.
Right.
But yeah, I've started calling it the yogurt tampon because I swear to God, the wrapping on it.
Oh, it is
Like
very.
You get it on tampons, ho-hos, and those.
Yep.
Like that's it. It's that white crinkle, sort of plastic, sort of paper-ish. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't know what it is, but it's not like nothing else in the world is wrapped in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we try to give them coffee offerings. We do. We try.
They do. They keep coffee fully stocked for me. Otherwise, I do maul people. People at Walmart this morning were in danger.
I know. Like, you told me that when I woke up. Like, you woke up and were completely out of coffee.
No, we had instant coffee.
Oh, well, that doesn't count.
Yeah. So I had a cup of instant, and then I went to get my mocha macchiato.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody talked to me. No one smiled. No one said hello. I went in, got my coffee, came back out, got in my car. Quickest trip to Walmart I've ever made in my life. And I think y'all knew, do not talk to him. He is in a bad mood and he will kill you.
Hey, that's when we need to send you.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad I went to. I'm glad I went to Kroger for my return trip to the store. Otherwise, I think our bank would have to ask us questions about why are you at Walmart 3 times in one day? Like, are you okay? It's like, no! He woke up without coffee. I went to the store with a half-ass list that I really didn't think through.
Well,
And,
no, because I used cash. So they would only sell 2 trips more, which I think
that's
was
true.
the actual normal Tuesday.
Well,
My double boiled coffee is delicious, Brenda. I use the Mocha Macchiato by Great Value and the Instant Coffee by Great Value. Yes, I'm a cheap bitch. And my coffee dressing is always cream and a little bit of ice if it's really hot, but normally it isn't.
Well, we're up to 4 years now. Zachary asks how long we've been together.
Give me a moment to think on that. I think we're at 4.
I think we are.
It's either 4 or 5, Zachary.
I mean,
let me check the metadata.
I don't know. Forever. We've been together forever.
Not yet. Once we get to 10, it's forever.
Oh, okay. So basically, it's like committing murder. It's 10 to life.
Yes, 10 to life.
Well, I mean, you assume there isn't a third, but we're getting propositioned. That I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
All right. Zachary, honey, you would probably be number 4 or 5. So think about the scheduling there.
Well, more importantly, bring it to the DM. What? There's a checklist. We have to know what like streaming services you have. We need to know
have applications.
There's an
credit checks.
Well, there's no credit check.
Yes, there is. I also run a background check and begin building a dossier.
Oh, good Lord. Stop scaring people off. Oh, I swear.
This is interesting. This is an article, and the tagline just makes me laugh.
Okay.
I'm going to send it to you, and you can read it out loud.
Okay. Oh, 1 second. I'll get there. Oh, there it is.
Investor market, investor.com, Dow Jones, good choice in the lines. Bear, hunt down market bulls. What investors should do now.
Oh, Dow yes. So Dow Jones futures will open on Sunday evening along with S&P 500 futures and NASDAQ futures. The stock market suffered yet another week of losses while Treasury yields continued to climb. The major indexes hit resistance and broke below support levels. It was even worse beneath the surface. Leading stocks in sectors that had held up well showed strain, with miners in particular selling off hard. Buying opportunities quickly. Oh, come on, guys. Gotta love the ads. Buying opportunities quickly reversed lower. Growth stocks continued to stumble. It's the peak week for earnings with Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Google parent Alphabet, ExxonMobil, Caterpillar, Chevron, Raytheon Technologies, and General Dynamics among the hundreds of companies reporting this coming week. But with market conditions deteriorating, the flood of earnings gives investors yet another reason to stay on the sidelines. But keep a close eye on big earnings such as Apple, Exxon, and General Dynamics and the market reaction to those reports. Oh, yeah. So blah, 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 blah. But yeah, no, I love the title, though. Yeah, bears hunt down market bulls, what investors should do now.
which I'm going to recommend something, and I'm not giving this as a psychic impression. This is a stock impression.
Yeah.
It's a good time for us bears to invest in our futures. Hello, Lady Gwendolyn. How are you, Princess?
Hey, Gwen. But
But
no, that's a fun article. I like that one.
that is a fun article. It's not often that I read stock reports and get a giggle out of their title. So Marjorie lost her brain. Green testified live today. Georgia representative grilled for about January 6th and the Proud Boys plan at ballot hearing.
Yes. Sorry. I had a moment. All right. So Marjorie Taylor Greene today faced an administrative judge at a hearing that could see the Georgia Republican banned from public office because of her alleged support for this January 6th insurrection at the U.S. Capitol. The Congresswoman was questioned about the 2021 Capitol riot by lawyer Ron Fine, representing a group of voters who filed a challenge with the Georgia Secretary of State's office, alleging that Ms. Greene helped facilitate the attack that ultimately sought to upend Congress's certification of Joe Biden's presidential election victory. They say that her behavior violates a clause in the U.S. Constitution's 14th Amendment and makes her ineligible to run for re-election. Among other things, the case against the Congresswoman hinges on her repeated use of a code word, specifically repeated references to the year 1776, which the lawyers say encouraged the rioters who descended on the Capitol. For her part, Ms. Greene is appealing to a federal judge's ruling allowing a challenge to her eligibility to run for re-election to proceed. And in the hour leading up to her hearing, the pro-Trump lawmaker took to Twitter to urge her fellow Republicans to, quote, protect election integrity. And then we have a lovely timeline of her tweets.
Yeah. Green claims that Trump's executive privilege to block questions on material law discussions after election.
Hey, Shri.
The attorney defended Georgia's representative, the attorney defending Marjorie Gunyon Taylor against the lawsuit seek to disqualify her for an appeal on the 22nd midterm ballot for supporting January 6th, attempting to block her from answering questions about whether she discussed the introduction of martial law with former President Trump by invoking executive privilege. Marjorie's lawyer claimed Trump's executive privilege to block the question. Attorney James Barr Jr. claimed also to prevent the former President Donald Trump. Also represents the former Donald Trump. 1 hour. Green gathered kindling. Lawyers for the channeling of Andrew Corley said Representative Green was one of those who gathered the kindling for the fire at the Capitol riots.
Mm-hmm.
She's one of the several leaders who gathered the kindling by gathering the conditions to make it possible for the explosion of violence at the Capitol on January 6th. Watch the ending of the closing statement by Marjorie Taylor's challengers. It'll be actually interesting to see how this turns out because we haven't seen this since the late 1800s.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, honestly, I think at this point, given her track record, I think they're just looking for any reason to prevent her from running again.
It's really simple. Make your state legislators pass a law requiring an IQ test. She will fail it.
Well, and if I remember right, wasn't she having issues in the beginning anyway with
she doesn't live in the district she's trying to represent. Right. There's other like legal issues going on here. But no, if they would require an IQ test, she would fail it. In general, I think that she should be barred from running for any office on factors alone that she poorly represents her state, She poorly represents the state of Georgia. She hasn't done anything for the state of Georgia. And oh, yeah, she's a QAnon supporter, which should be equal to a Nazi supporter. And yes, there is laws from 1940s that ban Nazis from running for elections. This is the same laws that should be in place now. Because they weren't took off the books, they just need used.
True. Very, very true. Oh, so yeah.
Yeah.
Well, at least the rest of the news gets better.
Hopefully.
No, I mean, the rest of the news that we have tonight gets better.
Oh, okay.
No, like...
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the wife kicking the husband after he tells his daughter something.
Oh, so we want to go straight to Am I the Asshole?
Yeah, we're going to cover Are You the Asshole, because this one's got me puzzled.
Okay. Wife kicks out husband after he tells teen daughter she was supposed to be aborted. Am I the asshole for throwing my husband out of the house when he told my daughter she was supposed to be aborted? Okay, some backstory. I'm a 30-year-old female, and I found out I was pregnant when I was 15. I was impregnated by my husband of 5 years now. I was talking to him about aborting the baby since I wasn't sure if I would be able to support my baby, but I decided not to. I didn't have the heart to. So going back to now, we got a note saying that she's failing math and that she now has to attend tutoring and Saturday Academy to have a chance at passing the STAAR, whatever state, country this is in. We started lecturing her. She said that she doesn't care that she's failing. My husband got really mad and yelled at her, saying she was being a brat. She said that he could go fuck himself. I was about to step in when he said, "Oh, shut up. Your mother was going to abort you." She just got quiet. I yelled at my husband, asking how he could say that to her, and threw him out of the house for the night. My sister said that I shouldn't have thrown him out and that what he did was out of rage and what I did was way too harsh. So I feel like I might be an asshole. Edit, we both pitch in for rent. He started out yelling, saying he wasn't going to go and kept trying to stay. Eventually, I had to push him out and lock the door. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. No. That's just, no.
No.
Like, all the things you get to yell in an argument.
Yeah.
That's not one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care how mad, I don't care how upset. That's one of those, that's a relationship ender.
Well, that's very much a relationship ender. That is you should see the divorce attorney immediately. You should also immediately, after you talk to the divorce attorney, make family counseling for your daughter and you. No stop go. Make sure to collect the alimony and child support directly from his employers, and don't be nice. Yeah. That
one is, yeah. Like I read that one and I was just floored at the. I mean, if you're trying to end your relationship with your daughter entirely. That's the thing you say.
Right.
That's the thing you say. Otherwise, no. There's never, no. Nothing anyone does after this. Like, no, that was the thermonuclear option. That is the Chernobyl option.
Right.
So, yeah, I think you're pretty much done.
Right.
Like, there's, no.
Yeah. Other stories that warm my heart is hitting your private your private messenger.
Yes, I saw we have a relationship advice.
Yeah, we're going to take that in the second part. Go for this one.
Oh, I see it now. All right, just 1 second. Trying to get it over the right window. There we go. So Russia says oh, come on, USA Today. Russia says 1 dead, 27 missing after storied warship sunk by Ukrainians. Second mass grave found near Mariupol. Officials say live updates. A day after Russian President Vladimir Putin claimed his troops were victorious in the battle for Mariupol, a Russian military official laid out wider aims in the country's new phase of the war in eastern Ukraine, saying Russia was seeking full control of the Donbas and southern Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
Rustem Minakayev, acting commander of Russia's Central Military District, said the control will provide a land corridor to Crimea, as well as influence over the vital objects of the Ukrainian economy. The move also would open the way to Moldova, including its Russian-backed breakaway region of
Travania.
Oh my God. No, actually it isn't. Transnistria.
Okay.
Minakayev said the senior military leader made the comments at a defense industry event where he acknowledged the second phase of the war started just 2 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
Capturing Mariupol is seen as central to the new phase, but thousands of Ukrainian troops and civilians remain in the giant Azovstal steel mill complex. Putin ordered his troops Thursday not to storm the stronghold, but to seal it off so that not even a fly comes through.
So he's trying to start them out. Ukrainian Deputy Prime Minister Aeson on Friday called for Russia to open up humanitarian corridors for the citizens and the plan to evacuate, but talks are continuing. What's interesting here is they're sinking ships while finding mass graves.
Yeah. The ones they said didn't exist.
Yeah. What was more important, the thing that I'm finding here with Russia is they're saying only 1 died and 27 are missing after their flagship vessel sunk by the Ukraine. Their flagship vessel was a 40-year-old boat.
Yeah. Though I think 40 years isn't quite that old for a ship. Like, generally speaking.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think that's technically considered too old for a ship.
Right. Well, I don't know. Let's see how the USS Enterprise is. I remember this one launching. Or maybe it was USS Enterprise too.
Well, let's see. Oldest ship in U.S. Navy. Just curious. Okay, so technically, is it still... Let's it was reclassified in 75, but the USS Constitution technically is the oldest ship in our Navy.
Right.
Though.
But
I mean, that's probably
no one's taking a 200-year-old warship to war.
Yeah. Well, hold on there. Yeah, no one's taking that one to war, but technically, let's see. It looks like the USS Pueblo was commissioned in 1945. USS Blue Ridge in 1970. The USS Mount Whitney in 1971, the Nimitz in 75, the Eisenhower in 77.
Right.
So, I mean, if you're talking Cold War era,
right,
like that's yeah. But
yeah. But we've got new ships coming out because, of course, we have a lot that are scheduled for decommissions in 2026, 2024, 2022. A ship launched in 1987, the USS Anthem, will be decommissioned in 2024.
Still though.
Yeah.
I mean, it's weird when you think about navies and ships and the fact that those actually last a while.
Yeah, they do. They're
Like
cars.
they're well, I mean, cars technically last. You just end up being obsoleted to the point
Right.
there's nothing you can do.
Right. But
Like,
no,
you can't buy the part.
right. And you can't make the part.
Yep.
But the Maserati, what do we know? Originally built in the Ukraine Soviet era, the Maserati, which isn't that impressive of a ship. I mean, hate to say this, she isn't. Russian flagship for the Black Sea missile cruiser Maserati has sank after being seriously damaged. Unexplained fire or a missile attack. More suggesting missile attacks because, of course, we are, the world is now providing weaponry. We actually released a drone designed specifically for this war to them. So a crew of 510, one died and 27 went missing. Not bad. It could only do a 32 knots speed, and its range was only like less than 1,200 miles.
Well, you never build a warship for speed.
No, you build it for defense, and apparently they can't defend themselves against older weapons. I mean, come on, we got grandmas here kicking boys' ass all the way back to Russia, making them call their mother after they capture them.
Well, and a large part of that is probably the fact that Russia has dumped so much money, assumedly, so much of their money into nuclear stockpiles.
Right.
Fundamentally, like, nuclear isn't cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Like, nuclear weapons aren't cheap, especially when you got to buy them under the table.
Right.
Not a lot of people
in your
do
back
that.
alley.
True. Like, it's not a, you can burn a lot of money that way.
Right.
So yeah, not a ton of investing seems to be going on there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and that's like, I'm sorry, I know it's war and technically it's not funny, but does anyone else just kind of have this moment with Russia where it's just like, how are you failing this badly?
Right.
Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not all about, like, war. I'm not all about, like, them going against Ukraine. I'm not all about this. But, like, this seems seriously concerning in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, well, Ukraine doesn't have a lot of defense. Like, they're not a huge country. They don't have a whole lot going there in terms of military defense.
All right.
Little did we apparently know. Oh, Brenda, that's hilarious. I'll get to that in a second. Sorry, she sent a direct message. But no, like, I really had concern for the Ukraine in the beginning, and it's like, hell, apparently going up against Russia, like, you could do this with pots and pans.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, what the hell, Russia?
They're beating them with brooms.
I mean, I'm not all about war, but I'm just sitting here going, God, y'all suck at this.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus.
Like, we have been scared. My generation was scared. My mother's generation was scared that big bad Russia could attack the U.S., yada, yada, yada. That's why a lot of people learned Russian, and we learned to hide underneath desks and put mattresses over us and all this other crapola.
Mm-hmm.
How to do a shelter in place, like H10. I could tape up the doors and windows and all that.
No,
only to find out that the big bad wolf's nothing but a damn little pussycat. Like, he's a twink that screams, that says he's a bear. Please.
Like, yeah. But yeah, no. like, and again, most of that is because their entire military defense strategy singles or rests on one approach, which is world-ending nuclear war. Which I like. No one should ever take that lightly.
Right.
We're there, even if like they can't, even if their missiles at this point could use some Viagra. Let's just keep in mind that even if they fuck up and blow themselves up,
right,
in their Monty Python special of a war, that's going to do a lot of damage.
Right.
Like, like not a good plan.
No, not a good plan at all.
Like, so the fact that everything hinges in their military strategy on one weapon,
it's a little,
not the greatest plan.
Right.
Like, does it mean they can win a war? Yes. Is it going to matter when they do?
Well, I mean,
granted, minus they do the Benny Hill routine and blow themselves up. Again, yeah.
Well, and that is, really questioning if they can even do the war.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and whether or not they actually have the resources for this, if
they don't apparently, because they can't even feed their soldiers.
Like, yeah, that seems important.
Their soldiers are giving up because they're not being fed.
Fair. I mean, fair.
Right.
Like, starve them out has always been a military strategy. Like, we block it. Like, granted, it took Cuba a long goddamn time to starve out, and even then,
right?
Like what the hell, China? What the hell, Russia?
Yeah, like you were comfortable behind your little war. You wanted to look all big and bad. Now you're looking like nothing but a damn joker. Like, your poker game sucks.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Of course, this is what happens when you back leaders that are stupid. Now, remind everyone that we're getting ready to hit the midterms. Pay attention to your midterm elections. This is where decisions will be made.
Yeah, really. Like, I am surprised. Again, that this is not about trashing Russia and their lack of military might per se. We know you have nuclear weapons, and that even if you could still manage to destroy the world, even if you blow yourself up first.
Right.
We get that part. But it's like, I really expected more.
Yeah.
Like, just, I don't know. I expected more.
Yeah.
Like,
I really expected more. And the main reason I'm making sure to talk about this is, yes, we do have Russian listeners, and you guys are not getting the real news. Like, your guys are really failing over there, and have been. Like, your leader is useless.
Oh, yeah. Well, I do want to share this. Just 1 second, though. I don't want to do whole screen, but I can do whole screen. There we go. Do I have anything up? No, I don't have anything up. All right. Share screen. Pick the screen. This is what Brenda sent me. Black Sea B4. Ukraine, you sank my battleship.
Cute. Very, very cute.
It killed me. It killed me.
It's like earlier I was watching the news. I think it was Philly DeFranco. And they were showing the tank graveyard that the Ukraine now has created for Russian tanks. They plan to recycle the metal, melt it down, and rebuild their buildings with it. Now, that's environmental friendly war.
I have appreciation for that. I mean, granted, there's some sadness there. There is some sadness when your fleet of tanks keeps getting stolen,
right,
and breaking down. It's funny, but it's not funny. It's like, did y'all really seriously forget this shit? Like, I feel like they started this war and went, oh shit, we were supposed to have stuff.
Right.
Like, damn it.
Right.
Who forgot to order the tanks?
Well,
No
the
ship?
problem is,
Like, what the hell?
the problem is they were told they were going for military exercises, not going to war, going for military training exercises.
Well, and that's fair enough. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that would perfectly explain why you're using really old equipment.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're also using it to cover up the fact they don't have it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that there just isn't
Right.
a large fleet of like high-end equipment.
Right.
Either that or they seriously thought they were going to send out some literal kids. Because I'm assuming, most of your
they're 19, they're 18 to 22-year-olds.
Yeah, like these are new or new-ish recruits.
Right.
This is not your long-term career people.
Mm-hmm.
So, they're gullible.
Right.
But I feel like there was a part where they forgot to order some things. Like, do they have bullets?
War.
Do they have bullets?
Barely.
Like, I'm just saying.
Gas.
Do what now?
They didn't have gas.
They forgot gas. Like, that's really effing important and really kind of, again, embarrassing when you're you're a crude oil producing country.
Mm-hmm.
Like, holy shit, how can you not have gas
in your vehicle? So bad that farmers are going by and picking up the tanks and just towing them home to make them into planters, or to take them apart and make them into tractors, or to haul their hay, because a farmer 10 miles down the road has more gas than your tank does.
Well done. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, and I'm super impressed by the Ukrainian people. Yes. I'm with you there, Brenda. But I'm just like, they've made this too easy. Like, this is just sad.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I had serious concerns for Ukraine. I really did. And I'm not saying that this is all, gone as one big joke. Like, many horrible things have happened. That is very much true.
It is. But we need to talk about the Ukrainian people. They're kind of like Appalachians. Mm-hmm. You might get to our door, but you won't be getting past our woods.
Like, I'm just going to say there's enough, Mountain Dew and meth in these here hills. We'll take you down.
Right.
What?
See, Jen, I want the same thing. I wonder if they're going to pop them up on eBay. Like, we can repaint it and we can do the Mondo.
No. Unless, okay, here's my thing. No, the shipping will kill us. Is my big problem. Unless they've made them out of aluminum.
Mm-hmm.
And then the shipping won't be so bad.
Okay. Well, the Ukrainians will probably take control of a Russian warship. I'm wondering if they will just deliver it to us. Like, we'll pick it up in Virginia Beach.
And then I figure they'll it's the Ukrainian people. They'll string two together and make a pontoon boat.
Right.
I'm impressed. It'll be cool. It'll be great. They'll just be having a party.
Right.
Like, I think that's where Ukraine is at. Like, I don't even think Ukraine's taking this all that seriously anymore.
Oh, I know they're taking it seriously, but what I'm impressed with is, Keen works with some developers out of the Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
It's very impressive. They've not missed a meeting. They've not dropped a thing. They have continued to fight because, of course, they're male, so they have to do their duties and defend their cities, but they still get their coding done.
Yeah, which is very impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, Russia's kicked itself off the internet.
Right.
Look. What the hell? Did you need a bank holiday?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, sorry. You don't like when we say that. No, that was kind of a low blow. Sorry. My bad.
What, bank holiday?
Uh-huh.
Bank holiday my ass. You can't pay your bills.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They had a massive bank holiday, basically.
Yeah.
as in the banks took a holiday from your
Right.
country.
Right.
Like, oops, sorry, guess I shouldn't have said that.
Mm-hmm.
Again, not trying to taunt Russia, but come on, guys. Like,
Get
you
your
gotta
shit
sit here and
together.
look at this and be like,
Well, this is where I'm at. We
huh.
have, lovely history to look at. George W. Bush II
Mm-hmm.
launched a war. I didn't really support the war. I still don't see why the hell we were over there. It wasn't our country. Yeah, they done gas. They were this little tiny country, not really that impressive.
Yeah, it was a very confusing. It was a very confusing choice.
Right.
But yes.
Yeah. We had our army walked in there, was like, all right, battle up, let's go. Closed it in 30 days. We were there much longer because, of course, we're America. We can't just go through and bulldoze the country, pave it, put up a Walmart, throw up a couple Dollar Generals. We had to replace water systems, all this other stuff.
I mean, no, but if we I was having this conversation today about like all the Dollar Generals though. Like we could just drop, a couple boxes of Dollar General bags
Mm-hmm.
around the world.
Uh-huh.
I mean, at the rate those things grow.
I know.
Like you just and I swear to God, it's just like if you're wondering why they keep popping up in the weirdest places, I think what happens is a few bags get loose and they blow through the air, and wherever they get stuck,
Right.
like, it creates an orgy of Dollar General bags, and this produces a Dollar General store.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's how it works. That's how they reproduce.
Right. That's why they're all through West Virginia, so they're litter bugs. But Brenda,
Yeah.
yes. See, that title that we use a lot as ceremonial now in Russia, in Ukraine, actually means commander in chief. I don't need a limo. Send me bullets.
Yes. Well, we've had presidents do that.
Yeah, we've had presidents do that.
It's been a while.
One of the most decorated presidents ever was lovely. Oh, come on. Not Roosevelt. Yeah, Roosevelt, but Roosevelt won. Teddy was a very nice one. He fought in Africa. He fought in many places.
Okay, so we've had 8 presidents with badass military records.
Mm-hmm.
So George Washington, that's a big no-brainer. Andrew Jackson.
Again, no-brainer.
Yeah. Zachary Taylor.
No-brainer. Grant. General Grant.
Like Grant. Theodore Roosevelt. So Roosevelt resigned his post as Assistant Secretary of the Navy in 1898 when war broke out in Cuba. He created the first American all-volunteer cavalry regiment, popularly referred to as the Rough Riders, and set off for Cuba.
Right.
So he led impressive victories in Kettle Hill and San Juan Hill. So yeah, a lot there. Dwight Eisenhower, John F. Kennedy, George H.W. Bush, the first one. Yeah, he had military service.
And he was
Oh no, Aeson, you're frozen.
I'm not frozen, I'm cute. I'm too hot to be frozen.
Well, apparently your camera's frozen.
Well, we'll see.
It is.
Again, we'll see where it goes to.
Okay. Well, at least you have sound.
Yes.
Oh, but poor frozen Aeson.
But so back to the U.S., shall we?
Mm-hmm.
And back to the swampland, since you mentioned Cuba. We have an offer for you. We have land that was formerly owned by the French and the Spanish and Native Americans that we'd like to offer you. It's called Florida. Apparently, their education can't teach them math because they can't find a textbook to teach them adding and arithmetic.
Don't give away Florida. No
Why?
one
Let's
deserves
sink
that.
into the ocean. Let's sell it now.
No one deserves that. That's what I said. No one deserves Florida. Florida doesn't deserve Florida.
Darling, this is business. It's not time to be honest.
I know, but come on. I mean, at least give them Texas.
Well, no, we're selling that to Mexico.
Fair. Fair. Understandable.
Right.
Yay, you're thawed. You're thawed.
Yay.
Alrighty. But yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, where are we to next?
Well, we're talking about how Florida can't find, math books, but you know what? Disney's doing some math.
Oh?
Well, because they've got a bill from, the same racist, bigoted asshole that done the education bill, trying to remove the privilege from Disney. Now, with this self-government privilege, Disney is responsible for the grounds, it is responsible for the paving, it's responsible for their own water, their own sewer. All that is Disney's responsibility.
Right. It always has been, though.
Yes.
Like, it's scary how much Disney is almost practically it technically is its own city.
Yes, Disney is technically its own city. Well, they're working to remove that. So that means that the counties that Disney is planted in the middle of, will now be required to provide their water, their sewer, their paving services, their road care services. That's what, the lovely Florida legislators don't get. They think, we'll just remove their privilege of being their own city. Fine.
No.
Your little
You really
county
don't.
can handle my sewer.
Like, yeah, no, you really don't want to.
Yeah.
You really don't want that responsibility.
Right. Yeah.
Well, hell, Brenda, if it catches on, she said, God's the potholes will be the new ride. Yeah. I'm like, if it catches on, though, it'll work out great for West Virginia. Right. We got those damn things everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Like, shit.
Of course, there's now a big debate if Disney will leave Florida.
Okay, that's a little hard.
Not really. All that can be packed up and moved in about 30 days. Hey, West Virginia has always talked about having a water park. Oh, Disney. I'm sure Governor Jim Justice will shut his mouth and sign the paperwork if you give him a little tax dollar relief.
I'm just saying, you could have a real Elsa. Like, she'd really be frozen.
Yeah.
Like, she would be frozen.
Right. But no, where Ridgey Creek lies, which picks up by Ridgey Creek debits once the district is dissolved, but those say local governments can create municipal service tax units, MTSs, that would pick up the revenue that would be going to pay the debt. No, it won't.
I mean, that's...
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, Florida, but, like, no, this is a bad idea.
Yeah.
Like, you got a good thing going here. Like, you really do. You need to stop and think about it. You really need to stop and think about it. Like, this is one of the most complicated systems that, as a single campus.
Right.
And, its own micro city.
Right.
You really don't want to get involved.
Yeah, Rudolph, the mayor of one of those cities that would be taking over this. Randy's fine, doesn't understand basic math. Rudolph says the bill against Disney was rushed through in 48 hours without legislature working out the details, but acknowledging that over the year, the local municipalities to work out how they will manage the transition. He added, That's like putting a gun to my head for next year.
Mm-hmm.
After signing the legislation into law, DeSantis' office issued a statement clarifying that it is not that the understanding or exception of the SBC4 abolished independent special districts to cause any tax increases to residents in the area of Florida. Oh, but it will, because you can't charge one customer without charging others. The statement continued, in the near future, we will propose additional legislation to authorize additional special districts in manners to ensure transparency and even the playing field under law.
Yeah. Like, I get the feeling this will be one of those year one bills that goes through, and then after, like, somewhere in the middle of year one, it's like, wow, this was a bad idea. Disney, hi. Do you want your town back?
Yeah. Do you want your town
Please?
back? Do you want to handle your own road service, your own cleaning services?
I'm just saying, like, that, like, you just, like, Disney is its own micro town.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they really, truly are.
Yeah.
And I don't think that, like, I just cannot see.
Mm-hmm.
Or more importantly, I'd love to be there for the day.
Uh-huh.
When a state of Florida road crew shows up to fix a road, and they have a showdown.
Yeah.
With Disney guest services.
Right.
And there is just a boom explosion that you can't do that.
Right.
You cannot just do this. You cannot treat this like any other road project.
Right.
Like, Disney has spent decades perfecting the ability to do work, maintenance, and movement invisibly.
Right.
And they aren't going to open up the tunnel system for them. I cannot imagine.
No.
They're going to just pop the tunnels open.
Uh-huh.
And you're going to see Fred from the road crew in the tunnel. Getting ready to pop out behind, like, one of the gift shops or something. Like, no, not going to happen.
And see, Disney, even at this point, has a federal standing and could take the state to federal court. That will be interesting if they choose to do so. Because this was part of the agreement for Disney to be built in Florida with the state.
Yeah, I do love the comment of Mickey Mouse going to show up with a barbed wire wrapped ball bat. Yeah,
that's an enterprise, so city governments don't have a right to their property, don't have a right to any access.
I mean, and so what? I'm sorry, maybe I missed it. Maybe I'm just not following. What was supposed to be the rationale behind this?
Well, because Disney stood up to the Don't Say Gay bill. And his own election campaign, by the way, because Disney wrote him big checks to become governor. Won't be happening.
No. If this is your retaliation against Disney, you just owned yourself.
Right.
Like, I'm sorry. Do you want to bankrupt Florida? Because that's how you bankrupt Florida.
Right.
Like, no.
Right.
Like, that damn park.
Right.
Is going to be the financial boondoggle from hell.
Now, it's only costing Disney $10 million a year. What are they going to save in water processing? What are they going to save in paving? What are they going to save in all the other services?
Well, yeah, and moreover, like, Disney is able to do this for $10 million a year?
Yeah.
Because fucking Disney's been doing it since day one.
Right, and this is what's going to happen to Santos. Disney's going to raise each ticket $4 and blink. Like, DeSantis is the dumbest governor Florida has ever had. He is a right-wing conspiracist. And then when he runs, he's considering an election run, by the way, in 2024. Republicans, if you got a brain cell left, you might not want to vote for an idiot.
Yeah. Like, no, I'm sorry. Disney is not a
Right.
like, again, just because the sheer flipping size of that park.
Mm-hmm.
No, don't
Yeah.
touch it. You don't
Yeah.
want to go there.
Yeah.
You really don't. Because
Right.
honestly, it's going to end up being a complete egg in your face nightmare.
Exactly.
Like, and you're going to get it from both sides. One, this is going to cost you way more than $10 million a year.
Mm-hmm.
Just for what they're doing.
Right.
But two, like, you're not even going to know how to price it.
Right.
Like, tell me how you begin to price it.
You're right.
Like, to take over all of these managed services.
Mm-hmm.
And keep in mind,
mm-hmm.
What is Disney? 70 years old?
Yeah.
Do you realize you might be taking them over right at the point in which their infrastructure is starting to have problems?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you may be doing them a favor.
Right.
To go ahead and take them over.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's, I mean, assuming Disney runs like most cities, which probably it's run better and there's been far more upgrades.
Right.
But do you realize the problem you could be faced with like 70-year-old water systems, 70-year-old sewer systems, 70-year-old electrical systems? Like, I'm sorry, don't they have their own power plant?
Yes. That they're going to shut down and stop paying Floridians money.
Oh, Jesus.
One of our baristas is suggesting it's going to cost Florida around $23 million to manage those services a year. Okay, simple math. 23 is bigger than 10.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Reedy Creek Energy Services.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it operates the electric and other utility transmission and distribution systems of the Reedy Creek Improvement District on behalf of the district, which specifically covers Walt Disney World outside Orlando, Florida. Right. Some power is produced by the district-owned power plant north of the Magic Kingdom, with the remainder purchased from the public power grid. Right. Officially, the utility systems are owned by the district entity itself, and the district contracts with RCES to operate the systems.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. That's been running since 1971.
Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead. This is brilliant. It's brilliant. Yeah. It's brilliant.
Since Florida has basically based their tourism off their beaches, which, sorry, there's other beaches. I personally no longer want to go to Florida and Palm Springs because of their behavior. They've now been put into the erase travel plans box. But Disney decided to move.
Well, now Brenda brings up a point. Can you imagine the money loss if they left? Jobs, tourism dollars, travel, hotel purchases that the tourists make, and the list goes on. Now, there's also a counter argument to be made here, is that Disney has had a negative effect on the Orlando area. That because they are a tourist destination, it has made the property around Disney so expensive, you can't actually afford, most people that work for Disney cannot actually afford to live anywhere near Disney.
Right. But what if they can't work for Disney anymore?
Well, fair enough. But like, it's going to crater. It's going to be another crater in the Florida economy. Like, what the fuck else do you think you have making money down there? Like, sorry, you've had a problem for a while now. This isn't going to help if Disney shuts its gates and turns off the lights.
Right.
But like, what are you going to do? Like, I'm sorry. How many people alone
Right.
I'm just curious what's the actual Disney World employees?
Yeah.
Like, I'm just curious how many that numbers.
Mm-hmm.
53,500.
Mm-hmm.
Walt Disney World number of employees 53,500.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm sorry, doesn't that seem like a lot to have hit unemployment all at once?
Mm-hmm. Not only that, but I'm quite sure that they're not going to be writing so many checks to Republicans next year. They're going to save 20. If they do that, they're going to save $20,053,445 in contributions alone.
Literally,
Literally.
and I think that's the part that Florida may not be getting.
Yeah.
Is like you push the mouse just flips the light switch and closes the game.
Exactly.
At which point, what money for sewer usage and water usage and electrical usage and, because we don't have any.
Yeah. Where are you moving? We're moving to Alabama. We're moving to Texas. We're moving to West Virginia. We're moving to, we've decided to close the Florida park and move to one park in California who gives us more benefits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just one of those things of like, you really don't want to push them.
Yeah.
Because even Disney knows this park's getting old.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, this has been a while.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a long run. It's a lot of work. And I'm sure it is a ton of work.
Right.
Like, I mean, can you even imagine the amount of work that has to go into, like, because this isn't like you just broke ground, built a park like 10 years ago and like you got a few years before shit starts blowing up too bad.
Right.
No. Like, you built this thing back, like you started on this back in the 50s.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you had a whole different world in mind.
Right.
And that's actually a big part of that. That, like, Disney was supposed to be a whole lot different than it actually turned out. But like, so I'm sure that the plans for Disney also are a little wonky. Because what you built and what you meant to build, a little different.
Right.
But like, do you follow that? Like, there's a lot of this that is probably duct tape spitting a prayer behind the scenes.
Right.
Like, I mean that sincerely. Because some of this is probably growing outside the ability of this park.
Yeah. Furthermore, it can cost taxpayers $1 billion in bonds that Disney is currently holding.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, and Brenda's saying, "Oh, sell those houses before Disney closes them. The market value will, it'll plummet."
Right.
Like, that's your biggest thing. That's the reason you have property value.
Right.
Like, have you seen property values in the rest of Florida? They're not going up.
Right.
I mean, maybe minorly, but Florida's been hemorrhaging people, jobs, and everything else. It doesn't help your kind of a retirement capital, so you hemorrhage people all the time anyway, because they kind of come there to die.
Right.
Like, truth. You work for like 60 some years, 70 some years, and then you go to Florida and you die.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That's a lot of people's plan.
Right.
So, just saying.
Right. But no, if they dissolve Ritter Creek, $1.5 million in revenue literally goes away. It doesn't transfer. The reason Ritter Creek is what's known to be independent tax district means that the tax revenues are generated for an additional to the local tax obligations rather than replacing them. If the district is eliminated, the tax payments to Orange and Ostara counties will not increase, Ritter said. Bigot Randy Fine Republican of Palm Bay, who has championed the bill, told CNN Thursday night local taxpayers would not pay more. It could actually benefit Ritter Creek elimination. Fine said the tax revenues that Disney pays would transfer to the local governments and could make more of the pay for additional services. So taxes would continue to be paid, he said. They just to be paid to Orange or Orion County instead of the special improvement district. The taxpayers could end up saving money because you've got to dispute the services that are being provided by the special district that are already being done by those municipalities. Does this man not do math?
Well, moreover, so what you're saying is you're going to good enough
Right.
Disney.
Yes.
And you really think that's going to work?
Right.
Like you think that's going to work?
Right.
Like you can pull that shit in like, you know, for against most businesses, against most,
right.
you know, homeowners, whatever. Because they don't have the money to sue you to eternity and back.
Right. The bond debt is currently at $2 billion, and if this goes through, they owe $2 billion. And those tax authorities would increase their estates as they learn more about Ritter Creek's outstanding liabilities. This is a very real impact in a sense in which we do not fully understand yet, Farmer said. If the liability is $1.7 billion or more, the transference to Orange and Osceola County, he said the debt would almost be $1,000 per taxpayer. If the counties are left holding the bag, the state might have to come to their aid, Farmer says. So it's not even a tax issue for these two counties. It's effectively an every taxpayer in the state of Florida.
Yeah.
Fine argues that the bonds are transferable to the counties. The tax revenues continuing to fund the bonds payments would be transferred. Ritter Creek jurisprudence is a local government right now, he said. If the taxpayers' districts already owe the money, yet the bonds would go to other municipal governments in the same place, but the revenue goes along with it. Disney is taxed by improvement districts. Those taxes are used to pay the debts. Taxpayers say that in order for the counties to collect additional revenues from Disney to pay the bond debts, the counties would have to create a new special tax district of their own. Even if they create the new Disney tax district, the tax rate would be capped below the current district rate, leaving Orange and Osceola County with Ritter Creek's debt services, but with less revenue to pay it off.
Yeah. And again, that's assuming that Disney doesn't turn off the lights, close the door.
Right. They collect their bond money owed to them, because if you don't think the bond is owed to Disney, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but like honestly, you could have this moment where you could just watch Disney just sit there and be like, okay, you go for that. We'll run for 1 year. Just long enough for you to complete all of this, assume all the liabilities. And then we'll turn off the lights.
Yeah.
And walk out.
Yeah.
And then how are you going to pay it?
Yeah.
How are you going to, and I don't even think there would be I think everyone would side with Disney at that point.
Well, not only that, but here's the thing. Disney's expanding in California. They've already been granted expansion. They can move their staff. They can move, they've got properties sitting there in waste in the Disney Islands. They can move staff there. Like, they don't have a staffing problem.
No. Yeah, Disney in California is very different than Disney in Florida, but still.
Yeah.
What, and I, you got to give Walt Disney credit and the Disney company credit. They don't half-ass.
No.
They buy plenty of property. They do not just pick up, what they need.
Yeah.
They pick up large swaths.
Yeah.
Of property. we would have to double check, but I would say it would be fair to say Disney probably owns a small country worth of property.
Yeah.
As in, and this is undeveloped.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they developed the park, but they never,
Right.
I don't think they've ever just picked up enough property to do that.
Right.
Like, they always have, 100-acre wood.
Right.
To keep expanding into, like, just Florida was the easy one. No one wanted this shit. No one wanted this property.
No, yeah, but Disney owns like the hotels. They can shut those down. They can, again, that Florida could bankrupt itself very quickly and have to apply for federal aid. By the way, you know what? Disney normally doesn't need FEMA. Now this would make them ready for FEMA.
Oh yeah, Florida or Disney has, they have multiple locations.
Mm-hmm. According to Google, Disney currently owns 10,000 acres of land across multiple countries, including the world's largest theme park resort in Florida, which spans 30,000 acres. Disney owns dozens of hotels, 490-acre resort in Japan, 160 acres in Disney Park in California. And they are expanding. They can quickly buy up Arizona desert. They transformed a swamp. They can transform a desert. Like, nobody was going to Florida until Disney came for vacation.
Oh, Disney World in and of itself?
Uh-huh.
Hold on, I'm trying to get this map up. Like, oh, come on. Oh, it's a quiz. There are apparently like 27 countries smaller than Disney World.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, no, well, excuse me. Maybe 17. There's
like my whole
very confusing.
Where in the hell does dumbass Reed and DeSantos think they're like? Did they not get common math? Are they so disconnected from the Florida population to understand you're fucking with the biggest employer in Florida?
Okay, so Disney generated $59.43 billion in revenue in 2018, which is slightly smaller than the GDP of Uruguay.
Right.
This would rank it roughly as the 75th largest economy worldwide.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's one company.
Yeah.
It's one. Disney as a whole company. One. And
Like, and then you've got the people that go and spend all the tourists. You got your airport, you got your travel fees, you got all those extra other taxes going on. You could be in trouble if Disney just closes for a week.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to give our company a month off, paid. Yeah. Like, they don't want me to become the CEO of Disney. I'd give the mouse a vacation, and I would live stream it.
You said that was, 100,000 acres?
I'm sorry, I closed the tab. It was like 10,000 acres across 10 countries.
I thought you said Disney World was 30,000 acres.
Yeah.
So they would have to own 100,000 acres total. Because I know it sounded like it was about a third of their total holdings.
Exactly. Not even close to it.
Yeah. I was looking to see, like, if I could look it up that way.
Right.
Let's see. 100,000 acres. To square miles. So that would be 156.25 square miles. So let's look at countries less than 160 square miles. Let's see. So, of course, Vatican City, Monaco, Nauru, Tuvalu,
Hmm.
San Marino, Liechtenstein, Marshall Islands, San Kitts and Nevis, the Seychelles, the Maldives, Malta, Grenada, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Only slightly smaller are their land holdings than Barbados.
Right.
Because Barbados is 166 square miles.
Hmm. We can fit that into West Virginia.
Like, holy crap.
Hmm.
Holy crap. Holy crap. Like, I'm just saying, that's a lot.
Right.
That's a lot of land holding.
Right. Now, what's this about someone needing to be arrested on a plane?
What? Oh,
The
yeah,
article
Disney World.
you showed from the Daily Dot.
Oh, dear God. So let's go ahead and jump into that one. Imagine you get on a plane and you have to listen to this. People sing Christian music on planes, sparking debate. A video of a group of people singing Christian worship music on an airplane has gone viral and sparked considerable debate on social media. According to TMZ, the video originates from a Facebook post by Jack Jens Jr., who appears to be a pastor. Jens is one of the founders of Kingdom Realm Ministries. While the original post has since been deleted, numerous reposts are taking over the web. One repost by Twitter user at Dave New World 2 currently has over 18.6 million views. In the video, two people can be seen in the aisles of an EasyJet flight singing Christian songs. Other people in seats can be seen singing. It is unclear when this video was taken, but Jack Jens posted the same video to his Instagram page on April 9th.
Right.
Hashtag Jesus is taking over this flight, he wrote in the video's caption. Comments for this post have been turned off.
Right.
TMZ reports that Jens and Kingdom Realm Ministries appear to have been traveling to Europe to support refugees leaving Ukraine. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, however, yeah. So, yeah, a lot of people are not loving that. I mean, can you think of anything worse than flying EasyJet and then
having to attend a forced revival? See, I'm wondering what EasyJet has to say about this. Like, why was this not stopped?
Yeah, you would think. Like, couldn't you, like, I don't know, does EasyJet qualify for an air marshal?
Yes, they do. If not, there should be a flight attendant with duct tape at least.
Well, I thought if your plane was made out of paper and had to be thrown down the runway, that you didn't qualify for an air marshal.
Right.
Okay. Time for noise canceling headphones on EasyJet.
Yes.
Oh. But no. Well, you learn something new every day. I really did.
Right.
I didn't think EasyJet would qualify for an air marshal.
Yes.
Maybe an air apprentice.
Right.
Could have seen that. Sorry, some things crack me up. EasyJet's just an easy target.
Well, it is. It's a very easy target. Apparently, they have not made a Twitter statement.
But no, it left a lot of a lot of people talking about, like, you know, it'd be interesting if someone from a different religion tried to do the same thing. Like, how long would that last?
Right.
Before kaboom.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah. But no, this is like, why do they keep pushing it? Like, do you see us holding circle on a plane? One, no, because you can't have the fire or the water on there.
I mean, you can. It's just really not recommended. I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It's a bad life plan, but, you know. you like going into the ocean,
Right.
try doing it at a higher rate of descent.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not good life plans. Not good life plans.
Yeah.
All right.
So, what do you think of the Netflix?
What do I think of the Netflix? I think Netflix has lost the plot.
Uh-huh.
Like, they spent so many. Here's the reason they took down Blockbuster. Let's start there. Blockbuster looked at this internet thing and was like, and just kept doing what it was doing.
Right.
We're Blockbuster, we're everywhere, we're irreplaceable, and they weren't. Because Netflix showed up, gave consumers what they were wanting at a very affordable price. Like, they undercut Blockbuster.
Right.
It was like they did everything consumers wanted.
Right.
And then, so they've gone on, they created some original content, and that was amazing.
Right.
They really have. They've done really, really well. But what they don't seem to be getting is, you had some major companies decide, we could do the same thing you're doing, and then we don't just get a licensing fee, we get all the monies.
Right.
So you started seeing all these, pop-up streaming services that pulled their content off of Netflix.
Right.
And, other additional services have popped up as well. There's competing services as well. There are free competing services.
Right.
What the hell, Netflix? Then you turn around and effectively, with this fledgling catalog, because it's getting worse.
Yeah.
Pretty much every week. You think your Netflix originals, which are good, I'm not saying they're not good, like Stranger Things, oh my God.
Right.
But $20 a month to watch Stranger Things?
Right.
You think now's the time that, after all these years of not giving a shit about who shared their account, yes, you publicly said multiple times, man, we'd prefer people didn't do that, but you didn't crack down on it. You just kept letting it happen.
Right.
Now, at this moment, you've decided this is how you're gonna keep your earnings up. When you start to hemorrhage customers because they're bored,
and you ain't put out anything new.
Well, they're putting out new stuff, but at the same time, it's mostly Netflix originals. They're really hard showcasing their originals, and it's good. How the fuck do you expect to compete against, HBO? Hi, been around a while. Oh my God, how many seasons of True Blood are there?
We'll find out.
Well, yeah, but here's what I'm saying though. ABC, NBC, Disney, really, guys? You think you have more to offer?
Right.
Than the similarly priced or less,
majorly less,
services of HBO, Disney. Tubi is free.
Right.
We've got a few of these.
Alrighty.
So, but you think in the midst of this is the good time for you to go and really crack down? No, it isn't. It was it's a horrible choice for a business. It's ridiculous. To think that you can compete against these services with your dwindling catalog, and that you can crack down on your users for sharing accounts, which was kind of your thing. Oh yeah, Amazon Prime. Yeah, Mary, totally. Don't forget Amazon Prime. Now, Prime's a little different. And in the sense that, like, there's free Prime Video, and then there are, purchasable, rentable videos, and season passes and all this, on top of the free service. But yeah, I like, honestly though, like, it does become a thing when it's like, I'm already, and we've joked about the, polyamory in this economy concept. Like, and we did earlier in the show, like, what streaming services do you have? Because, no one person, no one family, no one situation can afford all of these. It's kind of the universal, like, it's the new Pokemon cards, man. Everyone's sharing their flippin' services. Because seriously, how much money can any one person meaningfully put towards having all the different providers of streaming service? Eventually you run out of money and you start making choices. And Netflix has been really failing to show why you would continue spending money on them. So now they're trying to hide their losses by forcing people who are sharing services to go and sign up, and what they're fundamentally going to find. And they're doing all this in the midst of,
Right.
like, all the shut down Russian accounts.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it kills me.
What's going to be even more funnier and more interesting, and I'm sorry, Netflix is always on the top of my chopping list, because I can get Hulu. If you guys can't find something to watch on Hulu, YouTube, or Prime or Tubi, then what does Netflix have? Like, what
and
do they
HBO
provide?
Max.
And HBO Max.
Because we're AT&T customers.
Yeah, and we get HBO Max for free.
I like, there comes a point, it's like, yeah, Netflix is kind of on mine too. I mean, Hulu is my hardest one to give up right now. It's the one that every time I think I could just show up and be like, yeah, we're shutting down Hulu. But Handmaid's Tale, like, that's where I get lost every time. Is it's like, but a Handmaid's Tale. Like, I gotta have my new Handmaid's Tale. Like, they quit producing Handmaid's Tale, I'm out. Right. For, like, Hulu. Netflix originals, yeah, they've produced some really great content. They've also shot themselves in the foot a few times. Well, we see Aeson. Yeah. He's been freezing a little bit this evening, and it's been a little ugly. We don't know that we're not having yet another round of internet issues here at the house. We've had those the last 3 days. So hopefully he will kick back in a second for you.
Right.
But no, I mean, well, yeah, and then Mary says some people use Tor for a browser and download movies and series by torrent. We cannot condone that behavior.
Yes.
I'm not saying I've never had a LimeWire account. But I will not admit to that in a court of law. No, I will not.
Right.
I can neither confirm nor deny that I have, had that service. Didn't we all?
Right. At least you can hear me. My video will unfreeze or pop up in a minute.
Oh, I'm glad I make you smile there, Mary.
So here's the thing. Sorry, I like Hulu right now. Why? Because there's a scandal going on. They're going to have a movie about it. The Jen Shaw case. It's on my watch list. HBO Max. We get it for free. What the hell? Why are we stupid? But sorry, Netflix right now. They're on my chopping list. I can get YouTube that has most of the videos already I watch.
Mhm.
They're quicker.
Yeah. Well, and we've gone over
cheaper.
to. Well, and it like the whole time we've been together, we've shuffled services around. Like I swear to God, about once a year, we just pick up all of our services and shuffle them. Because for the point blank reason of like no service is perfect.
Right.
You can only go so far with all the content until you're like, okay, I'm out.
Right.
Like I need you to refresh. Like I'm watching 1 or 2 things a month.
Mm-hmm.
I can buy movie tickets for that.
Well, for their prices, we can actually get basic cable in this house.
Well, yeah, as they're slowly as they keep creeping up, yes, we can definitely
$21 a month we're currently paying.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Is it comes to a point where it's like, yeah, no, you have to shuffle the services. Like we were Spotify customers for a long time. And I'm not saying I don't love my Spotify, or did.
Yeah.
But it ended up being the Switzerland service that we could use. There for a while.
Right.
As things changed for us, it's like, yeah, I don't even need my Spotify anymore. We can go to YouTube Music.
Yeah, which is
and
included.
We did.
Yeah, we got YouTube Red, and YouTube Music is included in it. We get the best of both worlds.
Yeah, and like you'll pry my Amazon Prime out of my cold dead hand.
No, honey, I love my Amazon Prime. It does multiple things for me.
Well, I know, but that's what I'm saying is like when you talk about services, it's like you will pry my Amazon Prime out of my cold dead hand.
Right.
Like I could give up virtually everything else. You'll pry my Amazon Prime out of my cold dead hands.
Right.
That's the only way I'm giving up my Prime.
Right.
Because I'm sorry, I'm spoiled, and I know this, and I accept it, and I've moved on. I can't live
right
without my Prime account. Like, I can't go on.
Yeah.
It's a utility.
Right.
It just is.
Yeah.
Like, we're in West Virginia. It's a fucking utility.
Yeah.
Like, the fact that they will promise us 3-day shipping in a state with, that occasionally have roads in the middle of its potholes.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's occasionally. But I'm very happy with our YouTube. With YouTube, it's replaced 2 services. We are technically now saving $20. We'll save 40 if, unless, Netflix gets their ass together, we'll save $40. Like if I don't see a Netflix symbol in any of the TVs in this house soon, bye birdie.
Yeah, Netflix is one I can easily give up. Hulu, and like
we gave it
all
up.
I gotta do.
And then it's like, no, we had to go back to it.
Yeah, it was like I really need my Handmaid's Tale.
You need your Handmaid's Tale. I need my Barbara Walters. Well, now it's someone else's specials.
Yeah, there were a few different things that it turned out you were watching on Hulu that we didn't realize.
Right.
That were like,
Right, because I love The Hustler and the Housewife. The Jen Shaw story is kick-ass. I like a lot of these special news stories. And the only place that makes them is Hulu documentaries.
Yeah, but it's the Handmaid's Tale that like I would really struggle to give up Hulu for. And like we went through that and we did it. But I just was like, well, I can do it while it's on hiatus, but I'm telling you right now, when it goes back prime time again, I can't help myself. Like
right,
pick up applications for people with Hulu accounts. Like, well, that's who we'll be making friends with.
Right.
Was where I was at with that, and then like before I could even say anything, it was like, oh yeah, I turned Hulu back on.
Right.
Like couldn't live without.
Yep.
It's like, okay, cool. But no, we like we keep like Netflix. I think about every month we have the discussion. Like, is it time?
Right.
Like, is this the month we
Is
just turn it
anybody
off?
else watching it? Has anybody found anything on Netflix? No. And we'll give them one more
Well,
month, no more counseling.
yeah, and I think maybe this is going to be that month because I've tried recently,
Uh-huh.
and every time I find something that sounds really good, I've either already watched it
Right.
and I forgot because they changed the
Mhm.
cover.
Yeah.
Because I don't like that trick. I hate 20 minutes into a movie when I'm like, wait, I know how this ends.
Right.
Or it sounded really good,
Mm-hmm.
and then I start watching it and I'm like,
Right.
no.
Right.
Like if the production value goes any lower, like I'll start a GoFundMe for them to remake it.
Yeah.
Like this is bad.
What's bad is we're sitting here and apparently we're the only ones currently paying for it. Brenda said she forgot about Netflix. I haven't watched in forever. I canceled it after the show. I'll
Yeah, there you
cancel
go.
it after the show. Mika says I did the same thing. They fooled me with a cover change. Mary is canceling after the show. Hey, Netflix. Bye, baby. See you, sister. Let us know when you get back to your original price.
Yeah, and this isn't about us bashing on Netflix. I'm just saying from personally.
Yeah.
And no, I thought I was going crazy for a hot minute because I kept finding all these things on Netflix that sounded really cool.
Right.
And then I would start watching them. I'm like, I've already fucking watched this.
Right.
And I'm like, how did I because I'm usually pretty good with like cover art.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm really good with like movie boxes and book covers and things
Mm-hmm.
like that. And I just was like, it kept bugging me for the longest time. And then I actually read, no, they do this.
Right.
They will remake the cover art that they show for movies.
Right.
So that you feel like there's new content, even though there isn't.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, thank God, because I thought I'd lost my mind.
Right.
Because, like, I've rarely rented the same movie twice and been like, oh, shit. Like back in the day. Like, I've rarely, picked up a second copy of a book that hasn't been lost, damaged, or stolen.
Right.
Which I've actually had each of those situations happen with at least one book.
Right.
Shannon, if you ever watch, please keep in mind, and we may have discussed this. I love the Christmas gift that you got me. The one that I currently have is a replacement. Because she bought me this really great book. And if you're ever in a bookstore and you see it, pick it up. It is worth it. It is worth it. There's a lot of really great information, and it's also really entertaining.
Right.
It's called The Penis Book.
Uh-huh.
And it is amazingly funny.
Right.
It has all these penis facts and like things about tattooing the penis and like statistical. It's like a giant infographic.
Right.
In book form.
Right.
So anyway, I had this in the bathroom.
Mary, we haven't forgot about you.
Oh yeah, I'm so sorry, Mary. The Penis Book, that's literally the title. So I kept this in my bathroom in every place I lived from college on. And then in one of those places, there was an accident.
Mm-hmm.
And it tumbled into the toilet.
Yeah.
And got destroyed.
Right.
But no, I loved the book. It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Not quite an Our Bodies Ourselves. It's not quite that like clinical. It's meant to be more entertaining, funny.
Right.
And hell, I'll post a link because fuck it. I don't care if I'm getting money for it or not. I love the book.
Right.
But it's small. It's like, no, it literally fell. No, it was a total accident. It fell into the, I did something and knocked it off the back of the toilet and it just tumbled and splashed.
This is why books do not belong in the bathroom. Water and books do not get along. Yeah.
It was really bad. But 1 second, I'll share that. And while we do that, while I'm pulling that up, let's go ahead and read Mary's question.
Okay.
So Mary, 11/28/57, JLB and I are in negotiations for peace, but something is amiss with the lady friend. Mary is doing a hands-off on this issue.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes a person must learn a life lesson the tough way. Am I on target?
I think you are. I think his judgment is being poor. But that ain't your problem right now. You deal with you. Let him be a grown adult. All right. So while you're pulling that up, I'm going to be moving on to our relationship question, which the one I had picked got took down during the show.
Oh, no!
So we're moving on to number 2, which I had planned for Tuesday. Living together and sharing expenses. Who's responsible for major house maintenance? My fiance and I have been living together for 4 years. She owns the house and I moved in with her. We both work and maintain separate bank accounts. We recognize that we are responsible for our own cars, insurance, phone, individual bills, and then shared expenses we split 50-50. The shared bills include mortgage, property taxes, groceries, pet food / medical, television / subscriptions. We also track our fun and entertainment budget and balance it out at the end of the month. The intent was to make things feel equal and no one felt like they were contributing more or less. We recently incurred some large expenses for home maintenance, needed a new roof, basement / foundation repair, plumbing updates. It was an old fixer-upper house when she bought it. I contributed to the minor repairs or things that wore out faster from me using them. Helped fix the washer dryer, paid 50% on the new hot water heater, the kitchen faucet, annual AC HVAC inspections. So it's not like I'm contributing nothing to the day-to-day cost of living. We're talking $14K for the foundation repair, thousands for the roof. Those are significant maintenance costs. When discussing these expenses, I felt like I didn't feel comfortable putting that kind of money into her house. She made it clear before she doesn't want my name on the house and wants to maintain separate assets. I said I understand, but she can't expect me to assume the risk of putting thousands into a property I don't own. I used the cars for an example. She was recently in an accident and had an insurance dispute, and she paid. I needed new tires. I bought them. There weren't shared expenses because our cars are separate property. She's upset and says the other renter has maintenance cost breaks in their cost of living, and she proposed adding $100 maintenance fee to my portion of the bills. I said it felt like this was becoming too transactional, and I was disappointed if she really thinks of me as a renter in her home. We abruptly ended the discussion because we both work from home, and that we would discuss again later. Looking for some perspective. Am I unrealistic? Where do you draw the line with your own personal and shared finances? Well,
I think the first thing in my head is, like, unfortunately, in that situation, in the fact that she has said she does not want you on that house.
mm-hmm.
No, you're right. You're a renter in the house.
Right. She's
you're a
right.
renter.
She's
you don't
renter.
own it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, you don't own anything.
Right.
And you do, and it can be an ugly situation.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of, and you do see this sometimes in, like, breakups.
Yeah.
In which there will be, like, if a partner puts a lot of money into the care and maintenance of a home that they don't own,
Mm-hmm.
they could end up suing for palimony against
Right.
that property.
Right.
should you break up, based on or at least, or try to, effectively, get their money back out of the house.
Right.
Like if you keep your receipts,
Mm-hmm.
that's a serious concern.
Right.
Like that, like in terms of as a homeowner,
Mm-hmm.
you should be really careful about people who show up and want to give, and end up putting a lot of money into your home,
Mm-hmm.
because what did they get for that?
Right.
Like, it can be really ugly. In one sense, it's a really ugly way to be.
Mm-hmm.
But fundamentally, they're a renter.
Right.
Are you renting in a classical sense? No.
No.
But you don't own it. You're
Mm-hmm.
putting money towards it.
Mm-hmm.
You're a renter.
Well, see, there's a part of this financial stuff that makes me uncomfortable.
Okay.
We don't have a mortgage. I own the house.
Mm-hmm.
I own the house.
Mm-hmm.
But he's paying half the mortgage.
Yeah. Why? Well, and now, granted, I got into this after college. I had friends.
Mm-hmm.
They're certainly not friends anymore, and I don't know if they were to begin with. Like, one could hotly debate
Right.
that. I choose to believe that in the beginning they were trying to be friends.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one half of that couple really was a genuinely interested human being trying to be my friend.
Right.
I think the other one, honestly just saw their mortgage payment.
Right.
Because, granted, I left college. It was kind of a rough situation. I really quickly got a job and therefore had, money and was more than happy. So
right.
Effectively, they were fronting me for a month. And, young Joe mistake, I didn't really talk to them beforehand about what they were expecting.
Right.
For renting a room, access to shared space, and, access to some or most utilities.
Right.
Because there was some back and forth with that. Because like they didn't want to get a second cable box, but so I'm just getting basic cable at that point, like things like that.
Right.
And shared use of internet, blah blah blah. Okay. And like trash service and all that. But anyway, so when we sat down to have this conversation,
mm-hmm.
what they wanted was $900 a month.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going, I get a bedroom and a corner of an office. I don't even get fridge space. Like, we've tried that. It doesn't work.
Right.
So fundamentally, I'm going to have to eat out because you guys can't clean out a fridge, and anything I put in there, you consume. And I'm just sitting here going, I can't conceivably do that.
Right.
Because part of this deal was supposed to be that I was helping them because
mm-hmm.
they bought a dump of a house.
Right.
Decent neighborhood, not a bad house.
Mm-hmm.
But it had sat empty, no utilities, no maintenance.
Mm-hmm.
And had problems before that.
Right.
For 10 years.
Right.
So they're telling me about this house with a pool and blah, blah, blah. And I show up and it's like, you have a pool that hasn't had any maintenance or anything done to it, that is effectively a stagnant water pit.
Right.
For 10 years. Most of the house is made out of, like countertops, cabinetry, all of it is like the press board.
Right.
Like, it's not real wood. There's no real wood in this house.
Right.
You're dealing with like cracked shower basins. You don't have a clue how to hook up a dishwasher. Like, I did that for them. And that's when I found out like the countertop is just like really cheap. And like, there's all these problems with this house. Like, you've had to rip out carpet because it molded,
mm-hmm.
And that was the room you put me in.
Uh-huh.
was the room that had just had and had stacked in a corner the molded carpet.
Uh-huh.
You know, like and I was cool with that in the sense of like I'm happy to help you and I'm expecting a pretty sizable deduction off the rent that I'll be paying you. Yeah, but I was like 23. Like you do stupid shit when you're 23.
Right.
Like everything sounds cool. Like toxic mold, what's that?
Right.
But no, so anyway, moved in and he wants $900 a month. And I quickly went back and looked at the property, did the little back of envelope math, and I went, you want me to pay your mortgage? And he goes, basically. I said, because that's your mortgage payment, $900 a month. That's your mortgage on this house. I said, what sounds fair about that? Like, I understand you have other utilities, and then you want me to help you with the remodel, because you're having to gut and remodel. And you want me, like, dude, how much do you expect here? Like, I'm not going to buy this house for you and remodel it for you.
Right.
Like, you can get one or the other.
Right.
But and that was a big giant fight that we had. Because that's what he saw me as was his monthly mortgage payment. And I went, no, I can be one or the other. I cannot work all week long, spend my evenings and weekends remodeling your house and paying your mortgage. Like, dude, no, not happening.
Right. My advice
is actually, Mary,
plan. Yeah.
Well, Mary, technically, this was right next door, in Garner, North Carolina, the little boil on the ass of Raleigh, because it is. It's
right.
It like Garner is this little pocket with one road in, one road out that is not connected to Raleigh.
Right. Now, the relationship advice. Well, there's much more problems here than money. There's trust issues. There's other issues going on. Apparently, if you don't feel safe with your fiance when paying on your home that you're living in, so they need to back that page up and re-talk about that. Now, it brings us into another topic that I want to dance into real quick. So how do we handle our finances, Joe?
Do what now?
How do we handle ours?
Predominantly, you've covered all the major home repairs. The only thing that I really like big ticket like stepped in on was like the bathroom and paint.
Right.
And that was because it was like, no, this is a deal breaker for me. But at the same time,
right,
we don't really do the rent situation at all.
Right.
Like, and I get it. It like, at the same time, I functionally understand it. It is your house. Like my name's not on anything.
No.
And yeah, to some degree, I am a renter. Like, I do things for your business. I do things for this, and
right.
It all works out together.
Right.
But at the same time, I also don't typically make any huge demands.
Right. But no, what I'm talking about is how we handle our finances as a household. We do it really simple. It's a pot.
Well, basically.
Okay. Everyone gets what they need. Everyone puts into the pot. Everyone takes out of the pot what needs to happen.
Yeah.
Example, the way we're handling the repair of the Kia Soul.
That's become the community pot.
Yeah, that's become the community pot. We're all putting money into the Kia Soul, but it's not my asset. It's not the invisible assistant's asset. It's yours.
No, but at the same time, it's sort of like the house. Everyone's benefited from it.
Exactly.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, no, it's
Yeah.
not y'all's asset, but God, our life gets better when it gets back on the road.
I know, and I get.
Well, no, but that's the reality of it.
Yeah.
It's sort of like if something were to ever happen to the house,
Yeah.
like it's not my asset, but I still got to figure out how we get a roof back over our head.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like in that regard. So yeah, we try to do all this together, but and like at the same time, like I've picked up air conditioners and argued with companies trying to get the heat situation resolved and like all these different things and
Exactly.
shown up for board meetings.
But we handle it as a family household. Everyone chips in. Everyone, and sometimes it's not money. Sometimes it's like this weekend is what I'm calling focus weekend because I got a lot of stuff to get done. So
Yeah.
I'm not taking any household responsibilities. I'm leaving it to the boys. They can figure out what they need to do.
Yeah. Which was my crazy trip to the grocery store today.
Yeah.
Because it was like, well, okay, I can handle cooking through the weekend. That's not a problem. And then I looked around the house and I went, honey, what was the meal plan again?
It's on the board.
No, it isn't. That's like last week's.
No, that's this week's. I updated it. Thank you very much.
Okay, well, good job. I didn't notice.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I did. I just made a mad dash scramble and went, okay, like I'll figure it out. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm
Right.
sitting here going, I'm a fully capable, soon to be 40-year-old adult. I've had less warning and done better.
Right.
So like, I've done dinner parties with less.
Right. But at the same
and I was like,
time,
I can handle this.
right.
No, yeah.
But at the same time, we pass responsibilities, we pass financial responsibilities, we make group decisions. We made the group decision that 10% of money was going into an account that's not connected with anything else, and that is going for the Kia repair with using it as an investment account so that we make a little money, better than the interest rate, on our money.
Yeah. So yeah, we're all pitching in on that one. So a little bit of everything's going into it, and we're trying to get there. Like,
the
go a little
repair,
account, go.
5% is going into the furnace repair, but we all do it, not just one. Not like, well, I've got to fix furnace and you got to come up with a way to put an engine in your car, and the invisible assistant has to figure out how to get work clothes.
Yeah, no. Well, and that wasn't, no. I'm sorry. That's one of those things that's like, no.
Yeah.
And I know our show's running long. But just for a second, can we talk about the realities of starting employment and the fact that no one ever sits here and talks about the realities?
Yeah.
Like, it's one thing if you're currently employed and have an income and you're going to another job. Like, you can use some of that previous income to get you to the next one. But then, like, no one ever talks about what happens when you haven't been employed in a while.
Right.
And
or
the
you
realities.
Industries.
Well, yeah, like you change industries, you change even just like companies.
Yeah.
Like if you're dressing for one corporate dress code and you walk into another one, that doesn't always work or doesn't work at all. But just the realities of like, it's 2022. You like, there's things you need. Like, hi, try getting a job without internet.
Right.
First thing the invisible assistant got told when applying was, please go to our website at. Try getting a job without access to your, which this was kind of funny, kind of mean, kind of me. Try getting a job if you don't have immediate access to a state of that you live in, ID card at least, your social security card, and potentially your birth certificate.
Right.
Depending upon if you're trying to fill either one of the other two, the social security card or the photo ID. Like
Right.
the birth certificate's not required, but the other two are, and it's a requirement for those two.
Right. Well, and
Um,
but no, let's talk cash. We
mhm,
are setting at right now just for the invisible assistant's job.
mhm,
We spent $524. That's
mhm.
buying pants for the job, shoes for the job because it requires some special shoes, specific pants, all this
Mhm.
clothing based stuff for his job because they have a specific
Well,
uniform they have to buy. Okay.
right. And more importantly, like when you've been unemployed for a while, you don't buy work clothes.
No.
Like no one buys you work clothes. You know what I mean? Like, they buy you comfort wear,
Mm-hmm.
like for around the house. So it's not like we opened up his closet and it was like, here's all these work clothes.
Right.
Not that many of them would have fit because he, similar to me, bounces sizes.
Mm-hmm.
Or it wasn't a guarantee. So no, I mean, and then you have the cost like shoes and socks, and because corporate uniforms are always a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Belts.
Belts.
That was the one that got us. Like we didn't even think about that one until we had got the pants.
And his
Like
boss
that's
said you
bad.
have to wear a Pacific color belt. And we're like, oh shit.
Oh shit. We didn't even think about the
Okay,
belt.
let's go see what we can find. Oh, Amazon will be here in 2 days. We had to Amazon a belt.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, no, that Brenda, I get that. When your state ID expired, does not count as identification to
Right.
renew or to get a new state
State
ID.
ID.
It fucking kills me.
Right.
Like it's like what?
Yeah. And we're still waiting for the company to give him more shirts because you can't buy them.
Yeah, yeah. And honestly, you would think they would.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to put all this stuff out there, but he is working at a fast food place.
Right.
And it's like I've done that.
I've done
I
it
will
forever.
tell you right now, like honestly, the clothes that I had when I worked at McDonald's,
Mm-hmm.
which by the way, totally different corporate uniform.
Right.
If you've ever worked there, like every place has its thing. But I should have burned the clothes.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely should have burned the
Right.
clothes. Not that they would have burned, like they would have burned for days. It would have been worse than a menorah.
Right.
Because there was so much grease.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't work like I'm working the window
Mm-hmm.
for 1 week, 2 pairs of pants, working at a window.
Mm-hmm.
The pants were saturated.
Mm-hmm.
No amount of detergent ever got it out. Detergent, OxyClean, you name it, I tried it. Nothing got grease.
Hydroperoxide is the only thing that gets that grease out.
Okay, that was the one thing I didn't know about to try, but that's what
Right.
I'm saying is like it's like you get out of that job, it's not like you can, because McDonald's it was khaki, you had
Right.
to have khaki pants,
Mm-hmm.
and so you would think you could wear that into like the next job. It was like no, I can't.
No.
I had to use my 1 week check from McDonald's to go buy more pants because I only worked there for a week. Before I got a call back from Hallmark.
Mm-hmm.
Same uniform item, khaki pants. I had to replace them.
Right.
I could not take the khaki pants from McDonald's and go work in them at Hallmark.
Right.
It's one of those things. It's like just 1 week.
Yeah.
Destroyed them.
Yeah.
And it
Like
was
I
like,
promise you, next month we're budgeting already for another $200. Point blank to go buy him fresh clothes because, sorry, he can walk in and he smells like he just walked out of a damn barbecue pit. It's not good for my diet.
Oh, please. Like it ever took anything to get you to go have a greasy hamburger.
Well, granted, that is a total food group in my pyramid, but
that is the pyramid.
No, it isn't. There's other groups there. There's the coffee part. There's the hot dog part. There's the slim fast, large piece.
Picture this like a food pyramid in Egypt.
Uh-huh.
The pyramid is made out of hamburgers. There's a coffee river called Denial. And occasionally, a camel of a vegetable wanders past.
Mainly pickles. Here lately. And I don't like the big ones. I like the little sliced pickles like chips.
Which is the weirdest thing. Like, I'm used to, like, I had a teacher that I swear to God, she went to Sam's, and I'm not kidding. She bought that ginormous, like, I can't even, like, I'm off
gallon jug.
No, like, it couldn't have just been a gallon. This looked like a goddamn paint bucket from Lowe's, like, sized jar. And she just, whole time she taught, she just dig her hand in there and like pickle guts spewing out. I thought that was weird and different and like, okay, you know, some people really like their pickles. And that's cool. I'm not sitting in the front row. And then I saw you with the pickle chips. And I'm like, he's seriously going to eat a bowl of pickle chips. All right. Okay. I mean, they're less messy. I'll give you that. They're way less messy. But no spears. No dill spears. No full pickles. Just the little chips.
Yeah.
Why is pickles on chicken sandwiches a thing now? Because fucking Bigot Burger did it. They've always done it. Chick-fil-A has always had pickles on their damn chicken sandwich.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, but no, that's how finances should be held. Is nobody should feel like that they have to do something. It should be a intake.
Oh yeah.
What's your thought?
I definitely think it needs to be a give and take. I think it should be fair. I think it should also remember this is not my asset.
Yeah.
Like, as in, there's only so much ask.
Right.
Before it's like, okay, but that's not my asset. Like, I'm not remodeling this house. Like, if it, like, here's my thing. I know that we're putting a substantial amount of money into the car.
Mm-hmm.
But if there was a moment in which, like, we were talking about, like, completely gut and remodel the house, like, the windows come out, all the walls, like, we arrange the floor plan.
Right.
I'm not saying I won't help with it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I'd be pretty pissed if there were an expectation and you're going to pay for all of it. Because it's like, you better go update that deed. Like, that's the only way I'm putting that kind of money in this house.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you need to slow it. You slow your roll. Like, like that, if it's going to push this house over 150,000, like double its value. Excuse me.
Double?
Like
150,000? Are we keeping the back 40?
No, I'm talking
the
about
house
like
across
the
the street, honey, is currently being sold for 119,000, and it's a copy of this.
Yeah, it's a little bigger. Yeah, a little bit.
No, it's the same house. The same house. Only thing they've done is finish in the attic that we've got roughed in.
Yeah. But no, just in general. Like, I think it would be a horrible expectation for someone to just like dump that kind of money into a house.
Right.
And then if something happens,
right.
Like, I'm sorry, if I did it, I would be like, and then we broke up, I would be like, I'm taking your ass to court.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you gonna write me a check or I'm getting a lien.
Right.
Like, I may have to wait 50 years for the money,
Well,
but I'm gonna have a
75 to
goddamn
100. But anyhow.
Yeah.
Brendan wants to know, I want to know what about this thing about people putting peas in macaroni-sized potato salad. They say a lot of people do it.
Uh-huh.
They do.
In the macaroni salad, I think a lot of that got started with the like box mixes that do include peas.
Yeah, peas
and they
carrots.
actually are good. I like them.
Yeah, as long as they're dried peas. It's important. Remember, dried peas.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't squishy peas in your,
Yeah.
That turns into pea soup, and that's just ew. Gizmo has been sounding like a female talking. I thought it was a human earlier. Oh, Brenda.
Nope, it's Gizmo.
He does. He's so bitchy. And there's the link for the book that I was talking about. It took me a minute. Apparently, there's a lot of books with that title. I did not know that was such a well-used title. Oh, and it didn't go out.
Yeah, it did. It's going out to there are some boxes that we cannot post comments to.
Oh, okay. Well, if you're interested in it and you didn't get to see it or don't get to see it, just like hit us up on one of the pages, ask us what it is, we'll get it to you.
Yep.
But it's The Penis Book by Joseph Cohen.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys. So we will be back on Tuesday with the Psychic Coffee Shop. I will be on all weekend taking calls. Baristas, you have a magazine. It'll be in your mail inbox by Monday morning. Videos will be going out for our Tauruses. And I just done something. I don't know what the heck I done.
Oh, what did you do?
Oh, apparently now we can hide the comment box and just talk. Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, no, we don't want to do that.
Yep.
Why didn't you do that? Like, we love our listeners. What is wrong with you?
I know, apparently, though, because, sometimes it gets confusing for guests. They're used to pre-recorded shows, and I only do live.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's just wild. All right. But anywho, so, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm waiting for it to swing back around, then I'll tell thanks to everyone. But, yeah. Oh, okay. Do you have a class this weekend or something?
No, I don't. This is a work weekend. This is why it's focus weekend. I got to get everything done and wrapped up in a pretty bow for Taurus.
Yeah. All righty. And then we've got...
I do not loathe you. I enjoy you all. I love my baristas.
Oh!
No.
Oh! Burn!
I enjoy my listeners. I enjoy actually doing this. I have an idea that has to go through the manager of PCSP. You may be getting a little bit more.
Ooh. All right. So, of course, we want to thank Beverly Walker, Mika G, Kathy, Mary Winfield, Brenda Bryant, Ashley Guess, Shannon C, Shannon D, the ever wonderful Lady Gwendolyn, Charles Shaw, and Dottie the Psychic. If you'd like to learn more about us, the show, or how you too can become one of our lovely Patreon sponsors and receive all the benefits that our baristas receive, please visit us at pcspnetwork.com.
Yes. And
if he puts up with me in my mouth, Brenda.
But I also want to throw in there, Spotify listeners, you now have the ability to subscribe to our channel and you get special broadcasts. So if you are a Spotify listener and you would like to support our station, you can do so and get extra broadcasts, daily and monthly specials.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
I better be clicking that.
Yeah. All right, guys. You guys have a magical day. Be sure to do the likey, subscribey, reacty things. for us. Let YouTube know that you like our content, and we will see you on Tuesday. Good night, y'all.
Let's work. Yo, it's go time, showtime, never backing down time. One shot, yo, make it count, yo. Crunch time, shine time, make this moment my time. Get a grip, yo, ready, set, go. We bring the thunder. Bring the thunder. Let's work. Bring the thunder. Let's go. Bring the thunder. Let's work. Bring the thunder. Let's go. Yeah, it's my time, yo time. Step into the spotlight. Get lit, yo. Let yourself go. Our time, high time. Gotta go big time. This is it, yo. Never take no flight time. Grind time. Take it to the street time. Turn the roof off. Get loco. Game time, win time. We gon' bring it home time. No regrets now.